Happy Men's Day to everybody. Today we are going to talk about a tragedy which should be a lesson to all the Indian men. This is a lesson of why just being nice and just being a good guy is not enough and it's not going to help you build an amazing relationship or an amazing life. So let this video serve as a warning. If you are an Indian man, whether you are living in India or abroad, please watch this video carefully. This is a situation involving Akash Singh, one of my favorite Indian American comedians, and it is genuinely concerning. He is being humiliated and insulted publicly by his own wife for what appears to be fame, popularity, and social media publicity. Watching this happen in real time is both sad and infuriating. So, in my humble opinion, first I want to say that Akash seems like a genuinely good guy. He has great talent, he's very funny, he's very disciplined, and he has a very strong work ethic. He represents what many Indians aspire to be: successful, well known, respected, and financially stable. Yet his downfall lies in one area: that he never developed an understanding of social dynamics, dating dynamics, and he doesn't understand relationships or women. He did not build charisma or confidence in his life, and now he seems unable to confront the disrespect that he is facing by his own wife. He is not setting boundaries, he is not standing up for himself, he isn't willing to walk away. He is simply taking the abuse, and watching him endure it helplessly, it is one of the most painful things because he is operating from his core operating system, which is the basic Indian mindset or the basic Indian man programming. It goes like this: work hard, get a good job, make some money, impress mom and dad, get some validation from relatives, and hope that one day they will find a good girl for you. Maintain and build the image of a nice boy for the rest of your life, and cross your fingers and hope that everything goes well, which usually does not go well, for most Indian men at least. But sadly, this is how a lot of Indian men operate. This is how a lot of Indian men think. They tolerate this disrespect and insults from girlfriends or wives because they lack the confidence and courage to do anything about it. This isn't exclusive to Akash Singh. Many Indian leaders and influencers have behaved similarly. They act very cowardly, very passively, and they are unwilling to take a stand or unwilling to rogue the boat to stand up for their principles or to stand up for their values or needs. India has countless CEOs, senior executives, and global leaders, yet almost none of them speak openly about issues like racism against Indians on global platforms. They remain silent, conditioned to obey, behave, and maintain the image of a good, high paid laborer or a glorified slave. They follow orders perfectly, avoid conflict at all times, and fear standing up for themselves. Even if they have to stand for something that they want or something that they think is happening wrong with themselves or their friends or their family or with their community, they will just keep on tolerating it forever. Indian men in general seems to run away from courage. It seems like they are very scared of being courageous. It seems like confidence, free thinking, risk taking, and boldness appear almost alien to them, as if they are allergic to these traits. And it's very pathetic. I see this in a lot of Indian men, and I truly feel sad for a lot of Indian men out there. Other influencers are going to mock Akash. A lot of people are going to make fun of Akash, but I'm not going to do that. I genuinely feel bad for him. He doesn't deserve what's happening to him. His wife slash girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, has been talking publicly about very problematic and stupid things, like doing anal with a Tinder match, having orgies with her friend's husband, and sleeping with multiple men in college. She belittles him on camera, calls him stupid, and posts all kinds of, like posts on Instagram, disrespecting him blatantly and humiliating him. So here's my honest take. First, it can be true. It can be true that she's a bitch, she's a bad person. But if I'm being honest, I don't really believe that she is actually that kind of a girl. Nor do I believe that she has the boldness or half of the things that she claims to do. She seems like someone who may have experimented sexually in college, but she doesn't give off the wild girl energy that she's trying to portray on the internet. What she is doing, however, is using controversy to gain attention. She is rage baiting, clickbaiting, and saying outrageous things so that YouTubers and influencers will start to talk about her and she will get a lot of attention. And if I'm being honest, it's working. So many Indian and global influencers have risen to fame through controversy. So right now, if you want to understand the situation, you have to understand the power of controversy. You have to understand why so many famous influencers, so many famous, politicians, actors, all of these people get into such stupid controversy. You would think that, bro, it's so stupid. Why would you even do that? But it seems like a lot of powerful people, a lot of people who hold public office, who are famous, it seems like they just can't stay away from controversy. So let me tell you first and foremostly that this is not an accident. These people are not, accidentally getting into controversies. These people are creating controversy because controversy brings publicity and brings the attention of the entire world to you, right? Like people like Shweta Gangwar, Prakhar Gupta, or you may know him as Prakhar Ke Pravachan, Sandeep Maheshwari, all of these are huge, celebrities in India. All of these people experienced major public dramas before achieving their popularity. Even people like Kshitij, who is from Iron Man Lifestyle, a lot of you who follow me may know Iron Man Lifestyle, had a massive controversy with BuzzFeed and other creators, and the entire internet was discussing it for like the entire year. So it's clear that controversy sells, and a lot of influencers, a lot of people who want to be YouTubers, Instagram influencers, they use controversy to gain popularity and to rise in the world. But here the disturbing part is that she is doing this at the expense of her own husband, a man with a successful, loved brand who did nothing to deserve this chaos. This is what makes the situation reckless and unforgivable. See, if you want to gain popularity, if you want to build your own, YouTube, social media presence, all of this is fine, right? Everybody is going to respect that if you build it with, if you build it with courage and if you build it with merit. You have all the tools, bro. Like you are friends with Akash. Akash has millions of followers on Instagram and YouTube. You are friends with Andrew Schulz. Andrew Schulz is now a global comedian. Like you are friends with a lot of these successful people. All you have to do is just build a good relationship with them, go on their podcast, be funny a couple of times, ask them to arrange a show for you or something like that, and then you will have a podcast. You don't need to do this, right? And usually I'm also not the type of guy who's bashes women. I support women because a lot of women genuinely face hardships in this world, but in this case I have to stand firmly with Akash. Like Akash deserves all the supports that he can get. And if someone wants to use controversy as a career move, fine, but do it with strangers, do it with rivals, right? Or other influencers, not with your own husband or family or friends. Online disputes between influencers typically happen when there are adversaries, people who are against each other, right? Influencers who don't like each other a lot. Not within intimate relationships, not within friends and family. Doing this to your own partner who is already successful and has a massive brand just for the likes and views is very disrespectful, not just to your husband, but also everything that he has created so far. He has been in the comedy scenes for almost over a decade, and now he's getting the recognition that he deserves. So, doing this right now is basically you trying to ruin this guy, and you are also trying to ruin his entire career. So, I would say that a woman's past doesn't matter if she has actually moved on from it and improved herself, right? If she admits that what she has done in the past, a lot of things that she did in the past was stupid and she did it because she was maybe young, she wanted some attention, she was feeling lonely, and just basically she was experimenting. Everybody has done that, most people have done that. Most of us are not saints, most of us are not, pure angels. We have all made mistakes, we have all done bad things. It's okay. So if you have done it and if you accept it, and sometimes if you talk about it in a vulnerable way, and if you also express the desire to improve and to be better and to get over these things and be a good partner, be a good person, be mature human being now, then nobody is going to have a problem with the past. But publicly boasting about it, romanticizing it, or using this for attention signals one thing clearly, which is she is not interested in Akash or the relationship. She is just with him because of the money. She's just with him because she can use his platform, his fame, his success to become successful herself. It clearly shows that she is not interested in Akash as much as he is interested in her. This seems to be like a one sided relationship. And that is the truly pathetic part. And ultimately, the only one who is going to lose respect and dignity over here is that girl, not Akash. Akash will face some backlash. Some people will make fun of him. Some people will call him a simp. Some people will call him a cuck. All of these things. But he has that respect, and he has the work ethic to show for himself. Right? He has a personal brand and he has friends. Usually, eventually, people are going to forget about it. People are just going to be like, hey, Akash, you know what? It's not your fault. You were just taken advantage of by somebody who is very predatory, by somebody who is a very bad person, and it's not your fault. You should have been more cautious, you should have been more careful, but if I'm being honest, it's not your fault entirely. But this has also a broader message, and especially this message should resonate and should reach to a lot of Indian men. This should be a wake up call for Indian men everywhere. It is incredibly easy to end up in a position where your partner takes advantage of you if you lack confidence and social awareness. The traditional Indian script, study, get a job, buy a house, car, you know, rely on arranged marriage, have kids, doesn't work anymore. Not in the West, and also not in the most major Indian cities. Many Indian men are very passive in dating and relationships because they rely too much on existing social and cultural norms. Removing arranged marriages, if you remove arranged marriages today from India, then 60 to 70% of Indian men would struggle to find even one date. And this is a harsh truth. So much so that a lot of female influencers talk about this openly. They say that, hey, you know what, when you are young, you should travel to Europe, date and have fun with good looking, charming Western men, and then in your 30s, marry an Indian man for stability and financial security, and also emotional security to some extent. Because they know that most Indian men won't be able to snoop around. Most Indian men won't be able to do anything, even if they want to, because they are simply not desirable by anyone and they're not considered attractive, nor do they have the skills to actually pull it off. So these men would tolerate bad behavior, and women know this. Women know that most Indian men would tolerate bad behavior, disrespect, abuse in a relationship as long as the girl is pretty or beautiful enough. Just in return from some intimacy and just in return for having a good looking wife. They will never take the risk of arguing, standing up, or walking away because they have no other choice. A lot of Indian men usually just keep going in bad, dysfunctional relationships their whole life. Some who can't take the disrespect and can't tolerate it commit suicide. Unless and until you learn about social dynamics, charisma, attraction, and relationships, you will keep getting used by women and also other men, right? So, first, I want to help you break the illusion of pure hearted men. There is no such thing as a pure hearted nice guy, right? There is a saying that nice guys usually come last, and that is true. Because, yes, it is true that nice guys usually come last. On Instagram and YouTube, whenever a woman dresses proactively or has a modern lifestyle, a lot of Indian men comment things like, I feel bad for her future husband, right? This is someone's future wife, by the way. These comments imply that the future husband is a virtuous saint leading a simple, clean, and exemplary life. But that's false. Most Indian men watch porn, they already watch porn, drink, smoke, have casual sex, date around. A lot of Indian men also go to places like Goa, Thailand, and they have paid sex. So the problem is a lot of Indian men are very hypocritical. They want to control women under the name of purity and under the name of, hey, you know what, you should follow the traditions and you should have family values, but they don't want to do that themselves. Indian men also glorify their lack of dating experience, and this is also a very frustrating thing. They pretend that they are single and virgin by choice, claiming moral superiority. But in reality, many have tried and failed. Then they use morality as an excuse. Right? It's similar to when people claim that they never wanted money after failing in business or their career. right? This is just a convenient coping mechanism. A lot of men, even if they try, they are not able to get women, they're not able to date, they're not able to especially date the kind of women that they want to date, and nobody is actually interested in them, desiring them, chasing them, pursuing them. So this is the classic example of the grapes are sour, right? If you can't get the grapes, just say that the grapes are sour and you don't want it. The same thing happens with a lot of Indian men. Since they don't have the charisma, the confidence, or the skills to actually date and build a good social life or dating life or relationships, they just bash women and shame women and hope that women will also stop living their life that they are living, and eventually they will end up with some girl because of arranged marriages. All of this may seem very harsh, but you have to hear it. I can't really keep this inside me any longer, and I can't really say these things nicely. Many Indian men are incompetent, they are delusional, and they are unwilling to improve. Instead of working on themselves, they find comfort in moral excuses. They find comfort in imaginary virtue. If you're living abroad, the situation is even more serious for you. Indians are often not the first choice in Western dating markets, and yet most Indian men do nothing to improve their attractiveness, social skill, or confidence. The slave mindset still continues and still exists in Indian men. They only think about serving, obeying, avoiding conflict, and never challenging the norms, hoping that they would impress the higher ups, hoping that they would impress the masters, and the masters would give them good things. The masters would arrange good things for them. I see this a lot of times. A lot of times I see videos of Indian students studying abroad, and they look like shit. Like, bro, if you wanted to be friends with me, I would not be friends with you. Right? They have shitty, dressing sense. They have shitty hairstyles. They don't have any charisma. They don't even know how to speak. Like, they have a lot of these people are living in the US for years, and they have still not learned to speak basic English or to converse or communicate with confidence, right? And this incident with Akash exposes this painful reality. Traditions and traits like virginity, chivalry, and blind loyalty are not enough in modern relationships. Like, you have to earn them, they are not given, they are not by default. Today's world requires emotional intelligence, boundaries, confidence, and social awareness. So, you have to understand how relationships work, you have to understand what value is. You can't just expect, like, hey, you know what, I have never dated anybody, so now you are going to treat me like a king, right? Like, there is no connection in that. There is no connection between these two things. If you have never dated anybody, if you are not able to attract any woman for the first 25-30 years of your life, it only signals one thing, that you are truly undesirable. There is nothing about you that somebody would find attractive or desirable, right? Akash has built an amazing public persona, which is centered around humor and cultural commentary. But yet his own marriage has become the point of public discussion and a joke, to be honest. This undermines his brand, his business, and all his social platforms, and exposes how vulnerable he really is. He is also the kind of guy who's always talks about how I would never date any other ethnicity. I would always prioritize Indian women, right? I have never dated anybody. Whenever I date somebody, it is only to marry and never to just date. Like, very traditional, very conservative mindsets. But see, having these things is not a problem. You can have these things and still be in a good, successful relationship. You can still be attractive. But the thing is, I highly doubt that Akash did this by choice. I highly doubt that a lot of women were like trying to date Akash, trying to take him out, trying to sleep with him, trying to marry him, and he's refusing everybody. Like, hey, you know what? No, 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 no. I'm only going to date an Indian cultural woman. I don't think that would be the case. So if cultural norms are stripped away, many Indian men will crumble because they have learned nothing beyond studying, getting a job, marrying, and following instructions. They are perfect laborers, obedient, quiet, and easy to control. Especially not just Indian, but also Asian people. But now what is happening is, since Asians have won Like since Asians are kind of winning in global scale, like I'm talking about Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, like Southeast Asia, not India. So what's happening is Asians are becoming more confident. Asians are taking a stand. Asians are speaking out when needed. Now Asians are actually charismatic, and Asians are cool around the world, but Indians are not. And this is also one of the reasons that a lot of companies want Indian managers, want Indian CEOs, want Indian CXOs, because they know that if you hire a white person, if you hire a European, if you hire a Chinese, Japanese, or nation, they might sometimes try to do free thinking. They might try this idea, they might try that idea, they might sometimes go against the grain. They might sometimes challenge the narratives and the ideas and the vision of the leadership. But Indian men will never do that. You can tell an Indian man something absurd, and he will fucking carry out no matter what. He will obey you like you are his god. So this is the actual truth in today's world. Today's world require an emotional intelligence, boundaries, confidence, and social awareness. Just being like nice, easy to control guy, low maintenance guy is not enough. So stop trying to be perfect laborers. Stop trying to be obedient, quiet, easy, you know, easy to maintain, easy to control. This is not who you are supposed to be. So India's social condition reflects this. Indian men are among the most insulted, exploited, and disrespected groups globally. Indian men are disrespected by Indian government, by Indian managers, by Indian corporations, by Indian, bureaucrats. Like Indian men are constantly abused, taken advantage of by their own government and by their own corporations, and they can do nothing. They have never taken a stand. They're never going to rebel. They are never going to speak up. They're never going to fight back. Everybody knows that. You can give them bad roads, you can give them absurd amount of taxes, you can make the air quality unbreathable, you can literally steal their money, you can have taxes on everything, you can fuck them up in each and every way, and they will just keep taking it more and more and more. They will never stand up no matter what you do, right? So if you look around in India, even your own government is taking advantage of them. Yet no Indian CEO, like a lot of big Indian CEO are so glorified. Like, oh my God, look at Tata. Oh my God, look at Birla. All of these things. Like, look at Ambani. A lot of big actors like Amitabh Bachchan, maybe Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Ranveer Kapoor, a lot of big Indian actors, leaders, or public figures, they have never spoken up about the corruption. They have never spoken up about pollution, about bad infrastructure, about bad roads. Never. They have never spoken about bad civic sense. They are perfect slaves. They would do exactly as the government has told them, as the leaders up above them has told them, and they're never going to rock the boat. Right? This is the reason why Indians are kind of hated in the entire world. Right? What happened to Akash is sad, but what is even more sad is what is happening with Indians in India, in their own homes, in their own families, in their own companies, and also in the entire world. Right? This is the truly sad part. Like we will just keep taking no matter what, right? If anybody comes, takes advantage of you, anybody comes, says some shit about you, what are you going to do? Nothing. And what's even sadder is that he represents hundreds of millions of Indian men. Men who don't stand up for themselves, men who can't stand up for themselves, who accept disrespect, and who have been conditioned to never fight back. This is the sad reality of a lot of Indian men. And if you are like this, if you are able to relate to this video, or if you are triggered by this video, then chances are that you are also one of that. You also don't have free thinking, you don't have critical thinking, you can't really rely on your own skills, your own confidence to live your life. You have to constantly wait for somebody to do things for you, right? This is one of the reasons why Indians are hated globally. There is no other reason. Like, see, a lot of other countries are dirty as India, but of course, like, not as dirty, because India is winning in the race of being dirty. But the reason Indians are hated so much, and there is the reason there is so much racism around India, is because Bro, imagine that, God gave you one of the most fertile, perfect lands that is very hard to conquer, right? On one side there are Himalayas, on one side there is a Thar desert, and on the southern side there are oceans. There is Arabian Sea, and there is Bay of Bengal, and there is Indian Ocean. You are literally a protected landmass, right? You have protected landmass, and you have one of the most fertile lands. You have everything from mountains, rivers, valleys, forests, tropical lands, deserts, snow, everything, from heat to cold, everything you have, right? You were one of the oldest civilizations in the world. You had some of the smartest people who were born in your country, and yet you have not been able to achieve anything. Why? Sorry, excuse me. Yet you have not been able to achieve any fucking shit globally. You have not been able to do anything. All you did was just get conquered, just get fucked by this kind of people, that kind of small countries. Portugal, Portuguese people came and conquered. What? Like, what is even Portugal, bro? Like, nobody even cares about Portugal. The population of Bihar itself is more than Portugal, the entire Portugal. The fuck, man, the population of, small. Let's say the Punjab itself is going to be more than the entire population of Portugal. You have been given all of these things, and all the other countries in the north, like Japan. Look at Japan. Japan is completely secluded from the rest of the world. Japan has a very small landmass. The land is not very fertile because they are completely surrounded by oceans in all directions. They have constant volcanoes, they have constant earthquakes, they have constant tsunamis, all of these things, and they still manage to win. Look at a lot of other countries, right? They still manage to develop, they still manage to do themselves, do something good for their own country. But India, no. The reason Indians are hated is because of this. Like, everyone looks at Indians and they're like, bro, you guys won the lottery. You guys won the lottery for the landmass. You guys won the lottery for natural resources, everything. But yet still you couldn't figure out anything by yourself. Anybody, like, India was conquered over 200 times. Anybody is coming and just simply conquering you. Like, what is wrong with you? So I want this video to be a reminder that stop following traditions, cultural norms blindly. Stop romanticizing your life like a movie, right? Just being a good guy, being nice, and just laughing around, just going along and doing what other people are telling you to do is kind of harmful for you. It erodes you, it erodes other people around you, it erodes your history, it erodes your future, it erodes your family, it hurts everything. So on this day, on this men's day, I want you to take the risk and leap of faith, to be more courageous, to improve yourself, and to do something good with your own life. Start to become a free thinker, start to think critically, start to express yourself, take risks, say no sometimes. Stop trying to please people all the time, because these things are not going to help you in the long run, bro. Your friends are going to fuck you up. Your wife, your girlfriend will dump you. She might cheat on you, and there is nothing you'll be able to do. So please be smart. Please work on yourself, improve yourself. You don't have to be an asshole. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to now go around and hurt other people or hurt other women, because there are some bad women. That's not how it works. Just work on yourself and make sure that you understand whatever you're doing, right? You know how you're living your life, you know why you're doing some things. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in another video.